Good afternoon. This is Colton from Nostalgicom. A shout out. And over here we have Jill. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing? Pretty good. We're hoping that you're going to give us an insight, a professional opinion on what to do for all the beginners into voice acting.
Yeah. I'm going to do my best. So I will say, I started out as an anime fan getting into voiceover, and I started when I was 15 with a little home studio in my closet. So yes, I'm one of the fan-turned-professionals, and I totally encourage other people to do it as well. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Oh, excellent. That's actually a really fair point with that. And I know that there's a lot of challenges people come in, like for an example, the health routines and trying to figure out on what to do or how to do it, especially when some people might get strep throats and things like that, and yet they still have to try to hit those projects, hit those due dates and things like that. What are some of the routines that you've done?
Yeah, well, so I know like a lot of folks mask like on airplanes or in public transport. There are just some things you can do, like not drink alcohol, not smoke, stuff like that. Learn how to take care of yourself, like get a good night's rest, make sure you're drinking enough water. And you know, you can do vocal warm-ups, but one of the best things is just like learn how to advocate for yourself. Union projects do have some like limits on, you know, you can't do more than 2 hours of screaming at a time. But in my industry with Crunchyroll specifically, we've got these tight simuldub schedules. And so people are afraid to say, I'm gonna lose my voice, can it wait? But yeah, just talk to your directors, talk to your talent coordinators, be like, hey, if I scream for 4 hours today, I'm gonna not have a voice for 3, so can we split it up? Because, you know, everybody else in production, they want you to take care of yourself as well. And so just make sure you advocate for yourself. Like, nobody's gonna get mad at you for it, and if they do, they're probably not a very nice person, so.
Well, excellent. I do know that there are some challenges people have to go through. For an example, they like overbreathe, like over in the mic. Do you have any techniques that might help that, like, or the little sounds that you get, things like that? Do you have any tips on those?
Okay, well, I am a very breathy actor. That is my bread and butter. I play like shy, breathy girls. It is very good to know how to turn it on and off, though. Let's see. Clicky, I am also one of the clickiest people in the world. One time a director said, did you eat a water balloon sandwich before you came in here today? Because it was just clicky and squeaky. So staying hydrated is really important. I'm on a medication that dehydrates me, so I gotta drink a lot of water. A lot of people recommend throat coat tea as well, which is wonderful, but it's a diuretic, which means it makes you go pee-pee, which means it dehydrates you. So if you are drinking that, also have water with you. Let's see, green apples can help. I just did air into the mic, the thing that you said. Anyways, green apples can help. I don't know.
Well, cool. I think those are really great tips with that. And it's something to kind of really focus on too, because I know some people don't really pay attention to what they're doing and sometimes need someone on the outside to kind of say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm hearing, and maybe this is how we can kind of go approach on doing it. One of the big things that I also see is coaching and mentoring. Do you think that's something that's necessary? If so, what time do you think is necessary to do it? Or do you think you don't need it at all?
Coaching, I mean, it's not necessary. It can be super duper helpful. If you're still in school, definitely like join your theater program, talk to your theater teachers, do community theater and talk to those actors. However, if you have a great coach, that can be awesome. They can give you really good tips. They can help open doors for you and give you references to agencies and casting directors. However, I will say Google them, because there's the saying, those who cannot do teach, and unfortunately there are some voice actors that maybe they booked one big role 15 years ago and they haven't worked since, and now they make their money coaching other people. And the industry changes. If you were working in the industry 15 years ago, but you're not working now, it's a completely different beast. So Google your teachers, make sure that they've done more than a couple of things, and make sure that they have been working in this industry within the past few years as well.
Oh, I think that's really important because things have changed, especially now where you have to deal with some pros and cons when AI is now being developed. And there's definitely pros with that, but there's also cons with that, and there's a fight and a battle that people have to kind of deal with that. And one of the biggest things that we're trying to look for is agencies as well to kind of help them along the way. What point do you think you might be ready for an agency?
Well, I will say my whole career, well, I'll lie. I had an agent for a month, and she didn't listen to me, so I dropped her. So that's another thing. Your agent works for you. So if they're not listening to you, maybe it's not a good fit. But I've been very lucky, and also very, very determined. This is like my special interest, so it worked out that it's my job. You can book all of these things without an agent. I know lots of people that don't have agents. Agents can help you get in the door, but for me, the big thing for agents is they get to be the bad guy, right? So if a studio is trying to not pay you well, your agent gets to be the one that yells at them and goes, no, my client deserves more. If you do that as an actor, it can, a lot of us are people pleasers. That's part of why we become actors. And then they will also do those things like look at contracts and negotiate those like anti-AI stuff for you. If you don't have an agent, you have to do all of that yourself. And so, you've really got to pore over those contracts and like I said, advocate for yourself. It's not impossible. But those are like the huge pros of agents that I don't think people think about a lot. They just think about, the agency is going to send me auditions, and that's great. Getting the auditions is not that difficult. It's not difficult to get added to a roster, but it's booking the gigs and then making sure that the gigs are good and not taking advantage of
fair,
you.
Right?
Yeah, because they will try. Some studios will try to take advantage of newer actors, so that's something to be cognizant of. And talk to other actors, ask them how much they get paid. The studios don't want you guys to talk about that. But
of course they won't.
They sometimes pay different people different rates. So make sure you're talking with your fellow actors. How much did you get paid for that? Did they give you this rate? Did they give you AI protections? Yeah.
Well, I think that's very helpful. If you have any suggestions on 3 key points of really just kind of focus on when starting out into the career, perhaps in high school and you're doing the theater, what are some 3 key points that kind of help you move forward and try to find those resources that you don't know where to look for?
Well, I will say part of this job, you've got the voice acting aspect, but you've also got the conventions and it's kind of like a bunch of different jobs wrapped up into one job. And I've noticed a lot of the people that get into this industry and really thrive are the neurodivergent people, the ADHD people, because we like to be doing 8 million different things at a time. However, sometimes ADHD people have a hard time keeping to a routine, sticking to a schedule, going to bed on time. And so a big part of, your voice is your instrument, your body is your instrument. Learn how to take care of yourself. Get into therapy, get on medication if you need that, get real familiar with Google Calendar, and learn how to take care of yourself. Because if you are neglecting yourself and running on fumes, you're not gonna be a very good actor. Other things, like I said, talk to each other, communicate with each other. It's not a competition. Like, these are your peers. I know you're going after the same roles, but like, it's some people can get a little bit catty, but like, someone else's success is not your loss. And then a piece of auditioning advice that I love, when you are auditioning for the character, say you're auditioning for Denji in Chainsaw Man, for those 10 to 15 minutes, you are Denji. Like, just enjoy being Denji. And whether you get it or not, whatever, but have fun with it and be that character for 10 minutes. Most people, you can hear it when they're auditioning. They're like, what do they want me to do? What do I, Just have fun, be the character, and whether you book it or not, you got to be that character for a little bit, and that's part of what makes acting so special. We don't get paid to audition, but if you can think of it as like, I'm having fun, I'm playing for this little time, I do get to be the character. It's when you're having fun and being joyful in your audition, it really, you can hear a big difference. So, yeah. I
think that's very unique with that. And one of the things, this is just a personal question with that, is what about the characters itself? Like, how do you stick with that characters? Or you ever had a project where you had to do multiple characters all in one go? How do you switch between one or to the other?
Okay, so some people, they have like voice lines that they'll do to help get them back into character. At Crunchyroll, a lot of times they'll build a reference track for you, which is just a few of your lines, and they play it before your session. So every time I go in to record Frieren, I'm like, I say the same 3 Fern lines to get back into it. I've heard of other actors, they have a song that helps them get into character. I was working on Nino the Starry Bride, and this 80s glam rock song really helped me get into character, which is not the vibe of Nina at all, but hey, you know what? Whatever works for you. It's tight deadlines, but you can take 10. If you need to take 10 in between characters to just kind of help yourself get into that new character's mindset, that's allowed.
That's great. I think those are great strategies with that, because I know that must be a challenge. And try to, at least for starting out, trying to figure out until you start getting into that rhythm, I think is going to help a lot of the beginners when they start to go into theater and they're trying to play that character and how to do some of those techniques to get into that characters. So it sounds like everyone's got their unique strategies, but we love to hear your side on point of views on what you've done, so maybe it can help them out on what they could do with a little tweak on what they're going to do. So we really appreciate that. Yeah,
awesome, thank you. And lean into you, lean into what makes you special. Work with what you've got, kind of cultivate your own brand. There are certain actors that I can think of that, like, nobody does it like them. They are their own unique beast, and like that is perfect, because how do they recast you? Like, well, it's got to be this actor because only this actor does this. So if you've got like a deep gravelly voice or whatever, just focus on your strengths, and don't try to sound like the anime protagonist if you don't have that voice. Honestly, the anime protagonists are like not very fun most of the time. So yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much for that and this great opportunity. This is going to be Colton, and we have here Jill over at NostalgiaCon 2026 in Salt Lake, Utah. Go on in and subscribe if you have any comments or concerns, and enjoy the rest of your day.